species we look at most often are the crested francolins. They're a little bit lighter in color, more sort of different colors on the body as well. These guys much darker. And the easiest way to recognize them, that red patch around the face, the eye, also underneath in the throat area. Swainson's francolin, very similar to the other francolin species, just they like the slightly thicker bush along the drainage lines. It's not all that often you see them more in the open parts like this. They're also slightly less social than the crested francolins. Very often the crested francolins will have their chicks stay with them a whole season, all the way until the next summer. With the Natal francolin, as well as the Swainson's francolin, these guys normally leave after a few months. See the other one there as well. Quite often they move, not in specific patterns, but sort of relatively in a similar direction to each other. It just gives them the opportunity also to flush insects. So if the one flushes an insect and it maybe gets away too fast, the other one could maybe get hold of it. Let's move along. Holding. Just yeah. Oh. Yeah. A ball from a dung beetle. I really want to have a good look at it because it could also possibly be, I don't actually know what you call it in English. Afrikaans you call it the harkoki, which is the ball of, no, definitely dung beetle. Harkoki is the grass or whatever the animals that ruminate chew. They chew it into a ball sometimes and drop it out. But this definitely dung. You can see the inside there. Now if you look at it carefully, hopefully you can make it out. Obviously this dung beetle has rolled it around for quite a while. The reason I picked it up is there's no dung beetle around here. It's also been lying here for quite a while without dung beetles on it, just from the way it's dried out. So it's not taking a dung beetle's ball from it, it's just abandoned it. But if you look at the shape of it, you see the outside has now been rolled along long enough to have a crust on it. The sand is settled on it. It's already quite hard. As I squashed it, I mean, in 2 or 3 days this would be very hard. Very, very fine dung if you look carefully, just in the sort of the first layer. So like cement almost, that'll dry, and then you've got more bigger parts of the dung. Ah, well spotted, Rob. Another one at the back here. This is quite a large group. I've seen them a few times. They're normally very comfortable with the vehicle. Oh, here's one at the termite mound right here next to us as well. Look at those guys in the back, a whole bunch of them. But there's, I think the most we've counted, Rob, I don't know if you can remember, 13 I think?
Yeah, I think so.
It was a prime number. Always communication in this group as they move around. They could be spread out over quite an area. Let's say maybe the size of a tennis court, even more. And normally 1 or 2 on guard looking around. And then if they see anything that might be dangerous, maybe a snake or a small predator, wildcat maybe, or a jackal, they do alarm calls, and the rest of them scurry straight for a bolt hole somewhere. Of course, also always looking around for eagles. It's one of the other main predators. Another one just poking his nose out again, but they're very jumpy. Perfectly done. Quick run for it. Some Guys, welcome back here on the vehicle. What spot's looking away at the time, but look at that silhouette. You can clearly see why it's called a fork-tailed drongo. Montengo in Shangaan. Fantastic little birds. Well, as you can see, it's getting dark out here. We're going to go back to the waterhole for a little bit and stretch our legs and get ready for infrared. We'll see you soon. Ah, look at that. Coming out, you saw that other one briefly with some food in its mouth. Must be a piece of something. We'll try and see what it is just now. Out again, there's that. Must admit it's a little bit hard to make out exactly what it is. But just from the thickness and the chunkiness of it, I would say some piece of a buffalo most likely. Well, the Kahuma pride in the area, they are hunting a lot of buffalo. And the hyenas managed to bring something back. Now it's quite common for the adults, not even necessarily the parents, even some of the other adults in the clan would bring food back for the youngsters to chew on. Both for physical sustenance, for them to get some food from it, but also for them just to get used to biting and chewing things, get their jaws stronger. Obviously at this age these young ones are still dependent on mother's milk. Definitely not something soft and tender. You can see it's really working hard just to get a grip on it with the teeth. But even that is half the exercise completed. Make sure those jaws develop into one of the most powerful bites in the world. But they really are very entertaining. These three hyenas have provided us with many hours of fantastic viewing and sharing time with them. They've also gotten to know us over time to the point where they don't really mind us anymore. But we're going to head back to camp. There's another vehicle that wants to come